This video we're going to look at the way that I play Long Train Runnin' by the Doobie Brothers. There may not be any more signature lick than the beginning of this song for actually a few decades on the radio, and certainly one that had a big impact on me. So we'll look at the chord changes in the song and maybe a couple different voicings, and hopefully after the video's over you can have this one well on your way to where you want it. Let's look at the introduction and we'll break it down. Okay, we're up here on the 10th fret. This is sort of the home base for this song, if you will. We're borrowing from the A string all the way to the E string, and on the 10th fret we're throwing in our second finger on the 11th fret of the B string, D string 12th fret with my ring finger, a G minor 7 chord. That's how we kind of get the signature lick for this song. Fairly easy, as you can tell, just hammering on and pulling off, and you pretty much got the heart and soul of the song. I do think it's important to kind of hit those hammer-ons and pull-offs fairly strong with your strumming hand. And you can kind of get used to that. And if you notice at the very end of it, I actually will use my pinky up here on the 13th fret of the high E string to get another 7th note. I hear that several times in the song, so you might listen for that and add your pinky in there. There's several occasions here at the introduction, at the end of the introduction before the vocal, and at the outro of the song I hear it a lot. I'm going to try to play it up to speed one more time and slow down gradually, and maybe you can see what my right hand's doing, and if it helps you, you can copy some of the ideas there. Kind of going after the studio recording of this song, and so when I first started, I actually kind of scratched the strings a little bit before I even actually fret the chord. And the scratching of the strings almost never stops, so your right hand can kind of just continuously strum up and down strokes. One more time, maybe in slow motion. Takes us a long way in the song. The next chord change we come to is a C minor 7, which you can make by barring all the way across the 8th fret, and then the 10th fret of your A string with your 3rd finger. And we're going to make a couple of variations on this chord. On the B string with our pinky, we're going to fret on the 11th fret, that B flat note, and then we're going to drop it to the A note on the 10th fret. So that's one way to play this chord, is a full bar. Another way to play it, which I kind of think maybe sounds a little better if you're not needing a big fat guitar chord, is to just play the top 4 strings, again using your pinky on the 11th fret, dropping it to the 10th, then back up. And that's totally optional. If you were playing it by yourself in a band, you might want the big, full chord. You had a bass and everything else, maybe another guitar part going on, you might opt for just the top 4 strings. The next chords you can get by taking this grip and moving it up a fret and then dropping your fingers down really a string. So now you're barring all 6 strings at the 11th. I'm using the 12th fret of my G string with my middle finger, and I'm getting the 13th fret of the A string with my ring finger. It's an E flat chord. Drop that down to a D suspended chord, barring on the 10th fret, 12th fret of the A string with my ring finger, 12th fret of the G string with my pinky, resolving the 12th fret of the G string to the 11th fret of the G string, and then back to home bass. So kind of put that together. An alternate way to play that would be to make your E flat here on the 6th fret of the A string, barring the D, G, and B string on the 8th fret, and then going D7 suspended, barring on the 5th fret, A through E, dropping my ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string. Pinky is up here on the 8th fret of the B string. It resolves down to the 7th fret of the B string. Okay, just another voicing. One more time. E flat, D7 suspended, D7. Same chords as these. Actually, probably be a great thing if you had two guitar players. Just both take one of those each, and then you have it really well covered. When I hear several sections where they kind of really emphasize the downbeat, and you can do that by just using that introductory lick. Times adding the pinky there. After the harmonica solo, after the solo section of the song on the studio recording, when it goes back to that, I think they're singing "Pistons keep on turning, wheels go round and round." My ear almost hears, instead of pulling off and hammering on, just going down a fret and coming back up. Guarantee that that's exactly what they did on the recording. I think either of those could work, but it's a nice little change, especially if you're the only guitar player and you want to do something a little different. Okay, all right. The only other thing that I hear in the song, a couple little things, is after it goes to the big, what I would call kind of the emotional peak of the song. There, right out of that C minor chord, and I'm kind of barring the D and the G string on the 8th fret and kind of hammering on the 9th fret, or the 10th fret, I'm sorry. You just keep your finger barred there. Probably the best way to do it. Back. The very end of the song on the studio recording, I hear one other thing that's going on. Instead of playing up here on the 10th fret, going down here to just getting a double stop, 3rd fret of the G and the B string, and the 5th fret of the G and the B string. Something like that instead of up here. I'll try to lead into that. Hear that at the end of the studio recording. So those are the elements that I use to play the great song Long Train Runnin'. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope it helps you play the song.